Golden rule number one is about daring to start with a high initial demand, which is very important because as any negotiation will end with a compromise, you should not start with compromise, obviously. So in order to get prepared for a negotiation, you must keep this golden rule in mind and go along a five-step process. First step is to set a list of the issues that are likely to be negotiated in order for you to be prepared to defend your position, or at least decide what your position is on various aspects of a contract, for instance. The second step is about setting accurate objectives. What do you want to achieve at the end of the negotiation? You have to know where you want to come to. The third step is about setting your worst acceptable terms. What would be the very limit that you don't want to go beyond? If you do that in advance, if you set these limits in advance, you will feel more focused during the negotiation because you won't have to wonder, shall I accept or shall I refuse? You have a clear view of what's possible, what's not. Then the fourth step is about setting your initial position, your initial demand, and so you must make sure that you're audacious enough, and of course you must also make sure that your initial position is credible, so that you don't discourage your opponent to start discussing. And then the fifth thing to do is about preparing your rationale that will help you defend your initial position. There is a very interesting book, a novel in fact, from Belgium author Francis Walder, that was awarded the highest, the most prestigious award for books in French language, the Goncourt Prize in 1957. So it's an old book, a very fascinating book. This novel is about a negotiation that took place in 1570 in Paris. At the time there was a civil war between Catholic and Protestants. And Protestants had conquered a large number of towns, and the King of France, who was Catholic, wanted to set a peace treaty and to take back most of the towns. And the storyteller in the novel is the representative of the king, let's say the Catholic negotiator. And the king has told him, you must find a compromise with the Protestants. Don't give them more than 4 towns, which was a very low number. So the negotiator wonders how to start, how to open the negotiation, because he thinks, if I announce 4 towns, of course, the Protestants, they will ask for much more, many more, and since I can't do any concession, they will leave the negotiation and the war will start again, which the king doesn't want at any cost. And if I start by announcing that I can offer 2 towns or 3 towns, it will be perceived as insulting, and the Protestants will not even accept to start discussing, and the war will start again. So he tries to postpone the beginning of the negotiation and tries to listen, to talk with various people that can inform him about the expectations and motivations of the Protestant negotiators. And he comes to the conclusion that for 2 of the leaders of the Protestant team, there is one town which is very important, which is Angoulême, a French town in the middle of France, and the 2 leaders of the Protestant negotiation team would like Angoulême to be part of the deal. So this is the way he starts. He opens the negotiation. He says, I'm very happy on behalf of the king to open these discussions. I'm sure that we will find the best solution for the country, for the peace of our communities and families and so on. I want us to be transparent and to discuss very openly and on a cooperative, with cooperative manners, and we have to be very honest and direct and express our thoughts and feelings and so on. And he said, I will tell you exactly the truth. The king has asked me to find the best possible compromise with you, and he mentioned that I could not give you more than 4 towns, not less, not more. So what we have to do, gentlemen, is to find the best possible combination. What are the right towns we should put in this agreement so that we have a sustainable peace and satisfying peace. And then he adds, there is only a slight detail maybe I should mention, the king specified that in no case Angoulême could be part of these 4 towns. So why does he do that? Because he knows that he will be in a difficult position if he starts by offering, what he can give, something which is equivalent to his objective, 4 towns. He has to start with a high initial demand, but he cannot lower the number of towns, so he tries to find a secondary issue so that part of the energy of the Protestant negotiators will be focused on this secondary issue, and he will try to defend as long as he can both the number of towns and Angoulême. And at the end of the day, he will try to say, I can't accept to increase the number of towns, but I will ask the king whether he would accept to give you Angoulême. So it's a very interesting story, in my view, because it shows that this golden rule number 1, daring to start with a high initial demand, does not necessarily mean that you have to start with a very high price, for instance, if you are a seller. You have to find the right package, to find the right list of issues, to make sure that the persons you're negotiating with will have some issues to discuss, to object on. And there is a paradox in negotiation. It's easier to come to an agreement if you disagree on several issues. Because if you disagree on one issue, it's very difficult to find a compromise. Nobody wants to concede. But if you add other subjects for disagreement, for discussions, well, actually it makes things easier, because you're prepared to concede on some things, and that will make it easier for your opponent to concede on some other subjects that may be much more important to you. That was about the golden rule number 1.